What's up, guys? It's tonight. I'm back with another video, and we are going to be reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta season 12 episode 3, so stay tuned. Okay, so the episode starts off basically with Eva going house shopping, and she is with her new good girlfriend Cynthia, and they are going house shopping, and they see this really nice house. I think it was like 3,700 square feet, and she was saying that, like, given the insinuation that the house was small, not big enough, she doesn't want to grow out of it. It had 5 bedrooms. Each bedroom had an attached bathroom in that room, and I'm just like, with my old regular girl self, thinking, okay, this house would be a dream, and I'm sure that house costs way less than what that amount of house would cost in the state I live in, which is New Jersey. That house would be so much more money than having the same amount of house down in Georgia, okay? So I'm sure the price was right if I would have seen how much the house cost too. But she was saying she didn't want to outgrow the house. And then she was also talking about how Marlo kind of said things about her last season, about basically how her credit bad, she ain't got it financially, you know, baby girl struggling. That's what Marlo was saying. That's what was going on in the streets in Atlanta, I guess. So she kind of, you know, made that kind of resurface and said, oh, I guess, you know, I probably can't even afford this house because of what Marlo was saying about me last year, trying to be sarcastic about it and this and that. But with her resurfacing that, like me, I completely forgot about that last season. With her saying that and bringing it up again, it kind of made me think like, like, can she really afford this house? Like, is she really struggling financially? How are things financially for her? Is she good? Like, it made me think like that. So I think she should have just kind of like left it alone since it died down. She should have never like rehashed that situation. It shows that like that really kind of hit her, you know. And I don't know, it just made it seem like, well, maybe she is struggling a little bit. I don't know, but I hope not. But so yeah, her and Cynthia go look at the house. Cynthia thinks the house is so cute. Of course, like I don't think Eva was really sold on the house. I don't think that Eva would even like, I think that whole scene was kind of like staged. So I don't think Eva was really like interested in that particular house. I just think they needed a scene to record, you know, trying to show Eva looking for a house, trying to create something to film pretty much, because this episode was dry AF. Okay, this episode was dry. So then she basically says they want to move because her first child's baby father is a stalker and this and that. So she's trying to move. Cynthia did bring up the whole situation with Nene. I feel like Cynthia, as many interviews they showed Cynthia doing throughout this episode, probably shady. They be coming with the receipts. So they show Cynthia doing several interviews about Nene and their friendship, basically, you know, going to shit. And Cynthia always finds a way to kind of bring Nene up in whatever conversation, because deep down she probably really misses that friendship, and Nene misses that friendship too, because they wouldn't be talking about each other so much if they didn't miss each other. Okay, so then we move on to Kandi, and Kani and Todd are basically out eating, and Todd is like, oh, how is their surrogate doing, or whatever, you know. Kandi's like, oh, I'm actually supposed to be calling her right now, or whatever. It seems like Kandi's a tourist like me. It seems like Kandi is kind of like nonchalant about this whole surrogate thing, you know, and I feel like she's kind of forgetting the fact that she's having a baby, only because of the fact that she's not actually the one carrying the baby. So I feel like, and I hope that she's not being neglectful towards her surrogate. I feel like, and I've never had a baby. I'm 26. I haven't had a baby yet. But I feel like if somebody else was carrying my child, I would be like touching base with them every day on some like, I'm on your ass kind of shit because you carrying my child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So she, maybe Kandi is super busy. I don't know what the disconnect is, but there's a disconnect. And that storyline is really going to be cool to watch it play out and just hear more about her experience using a surrogate and with the connection with her and the baby and all that stuff, because it's like, if she's disconnected with the surrogate, I hope that that doesn't also show with the baby too. I doubt it with the baby, but it's just like, I don't know. And Todd was nagging on her about, you know, it's a such thing as surrogate etiquette. Like, I guess he's saying like, yo, like, call her more, like, check in and all this other stuff, this and that. And they want to bring Ace, baby Ace, to the next doctor's appointment or whatever, so they can tell Ace how babies basically come about. I think Ace is a little too young to really fully grasp how everything works. But hey, people basically do what they want with their kids. You know, some people choose to tell their kids about Santa earlier than others, the Tooth Fairy earlier than others, whatever. So it is what it is. Yeah. So then they got into a discussion about how Todd is willing to let his daughter, who's 23, be able to go to a strip club with him. And Candy's opposing views of that because Candy doesn't agree with that. And Todd is basically saying to us, his daughter wanted to go to a strip club and he feels like she's better off going with him than having her, I guess, go out on her own with her friends, because he probably knows she's going to do it anyway. So I guess he wants his daughter to feel safe and comfortable and be like, okay, I might as well take her. You know, at least she's with me. There's two sides to that. So Todd is saying my daughter is grown. She's 23. She wants to go to a strip club. You know, she can come with me and we can both go. All right. Todd's view is my daughter is going to go anyway. Why not have her come with me? She's going to be safe with me. I'm going to make sure she has, like, you know, a respectable, good experience, not get into any trouble or whatever. I'm going to show her the ropes, however the fuck it goes or whatever. I'm going to show her the ropes. I'm going to take her under my wing and I'm going to basically be a guardian while we are at the strip club. The only thing with that is y'all at the strip club. It's not like you taking her to Six Flags for the first time and you wanted to go with her for her first time and you want to be kind of like chaperone the situation. You know, of course, he's also going to make sure everything is going smoothly. Ain't no funny stuff going on. Nobody's slipping something in her drink or whatever. Like, of course, he's chaperoning. And he feels like, okay, if she's going to want to do it, she might as well just do it with me. But we're going to a strip club. Like, so not every parent would think that, you know. But I think some parents do those types of things, but in less crazy scenarios or whatever, where it's like, okay, if my child's gonna want to travel across the country, let's go together. Like, you know, things like that, where parents feel like, okay, if my child's gonna go out and do it anyway, let's do it together. Now, when it comes to like strip clubs, or like, oh, my child, she's gonna do drugs or smoke weed, or they might as well do it with me too. Like that, like that's where I think people are throwing the strip club into. They're throwing it into that bucket where it's like, nah. And on the flip side, you know, some people may be like, okay, that actually makes sense. Take her to the strip club for her first time or whatever. You know, make sure she's safe. Kind of point out the do's and don'ts of the strip club since he has experience going. And then from that point on, okay, you're going to go out and do it anyway. At least I took you to your first one and kind of showed you what you do, what you don't do, what's right, what's not right, what to look out for, and all that shit, and at the same time having fun with my kid. But at the same time, I don't know, it's just a weird environment because you're around a bunch of naked women throwing themselves at you and all other stuff. Like, me personally, my first time at a strip club was with my man. I didn't go with my parents or anything like that. I would maybe have went with like a close family member that I was like closer in age with, but I wouldn't be going with my mom or my dad to the strip club. Like, that's just not happening. That's just a little awkward. It's just not the normal thing. Like, it's awkward. So now we're gonna jump into Portia. I'm getting like a little tired of the whole cheating thing. Like, y'all together or y'all not together? What we doing? You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into Portia and her meeting with Tanya, or whatever. So she was actually on last season, and I guess she just got bumped down to being a friend. And she is not like holding a peach this season. She's not a main person on this season, which is really sad. She's a very, very beautiful woman, and I think that last season we really didn't get to know a lot about her and her life. But last season she came in as Nene's good girlfriend. Then she got buddy with, I believe, Eva, and she got buddy with somebody else, but I can't think of who it was. But now they basically saying, okay, this girl Tanya was buddy with this girl, that girl, and now she's Portia's good friend. So it really made Tanya look bad. And if her name is Tanya, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. I just can't remember how you say it at this time. It really made her look thirsty and bad. And like, that's why I be saying probably shady. But it made her look thirsty because I understand her falling out with Nene. I completely understand that, and they haven't touched base and gotten over that. But like, it just make it seem like she bouncing all over the cast, being buddy so she can get a check and be on the show still. That's how it made her look. Because I'm just like, ooh, they kind of showing you as being like buddy with everybody. And there are people like that that are good friends with a bunch of different people, but in this case it just make her look like she's thirsty for a check. I don't know, I highly doubt it, but it didn't come off good for her or whatever. So Portia's updating her on the whole cheating thing, this and that, and it's just like, girl, what we doing? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So the next part we're going to get into is Kenya and Mark Daly. Now, Mark finally, you know, is on the episode, okay? And kind of shocking because I think, was this last season or season before? Where he basically, I don't think he wanted anything to do with this show or to be recorded and all of that stuff. So I was surprised to see him actually on the show, you know, with the cameras and everything with his baby. I was very surprised to see that. Because I think that was the reason why Kenya got booted off the show 2 seasons ago, because she didn't film her blooming relationship with him. So I naturally thought it was just him not wanting anything to do with the show, which is understandable. Some people don't want their lives on TV for everybody to judge and criticize. I wouldn't. So yeah, but it was a very awkward scene. You know, just seeing Kenya and him interact, or less thereof. I mean, she's basically asking him, like, you know, are you going to have a restaurant here in Georgia or Atlanta or whatever? And he's like not responding to her. And it's like she's talking to herself, and he's just so, you know, immersed with just interacting with baby Brooklyn, who is the cutest little thing. So he's just basically all into Brooklyn and giving all of his attention and time to Brooklyn, which I can understand. You know, he's away. He's not with Kenya and Brooklyn every single day because they are living in, like, he has his businesses, I think, in the East Coast. I want to say it's New York. So he's not with them every single day. So when he is, like, he probably just wants to see Brooklyn and he misses her and all that and wants to give all his time. But on Kenya's side of things, she feels as though she had this baby, she got married, and once Brooklyn popped out, you know, her and Mark's romantic relationship is no longer there, and they're no longer intimate because the baby sleeps with them and they have no private time. And she said that she missed being a girlfriend. And that's because as a girlfriend, before Brooklyn was here, she got time with Mark, and she got the attention of Mark and everything, and I'm sure they were intimate and all that, so she got her needs met. But now it's all about the baby. So it's a little give and take when it comes to her having her dream baby and everything like that. And I really feel bad for her. You know, the least he could do was freaking respond back to her questions. Like, what the heck? You know, like, what is up with that? So yeah, and then also Kenya's cousin comes around, and Kenya is basically letting her cousin know how she feels about the relationship with her and Mark, and how the baby kind of like takes away the attention he gives to Kenya, things like that. And her cousin goes, you know, I'll watch your baby. And she's like, yeah, right. Like, she was so shady. She didn't even want her cousin to pick up the baby out of the high chair because she didn't slide the top part out or whatever. She's like, that's not how you pick up a baby. And Bob, it's just like, oh my gosh. And I was just watching the show, but my man is watching it with me, and I'm like, I hope I'm not like that when I have my first kid, because like, she's super overprotective, and she feels like that's her miracle baby. So I get it, but it's like, girl, that's your cousin, like, you know, that's family. But some people act all different types of ways with their kids, and it's their kids, so they can do whatever the heck they want to do. Okay, so the moment everybody's been waiting for, right? So Nene's been saying the pre-show is over, and she finally makes her appearance on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 3. So we get to see Nene. It's always great to see Nene on the episodes. And she's basically getting ready, getting her makeup done. Her and Greg are preparing to speak with and do an interview with the American Cancer Society. And they're basically just saying their experiences and how cancer affected not only Greg, you know, with him being diagnosed with cancer and affecting his body and everything like that, but how it impacted their relationship and Nene as his caregiver and things like that, which was really cool for them to actually partake in. I've been impacted by a family member of mine having cancer, so I think it's really cool that she's actually sharing that and Greg is sharing that. It takes a lot of strength and willpower to just be as open with that, and just for them to film that on camera from last season, that I don't think my family could have done the same. So yeah, shout outs to them for bringing more awareness, and I'm very glad that Greg is cancer free. That is awesome. That is so awesome. Nene also shares with Greg how she reached out to Cynthia, and what I love that Greg said to her, he was like, you gotta take ownership in what you did in the situation also. He stressed to her about taking ownership, and she needed to hear that. It's like, yes, I think Cynthia has done things that has, you know, kind of like hurt Nene's feelings, but Nene also lashes back. Like, so they both have to take ownership in what they did that hurted each other. And Nene, it was so funny. I don't know if this is just because of editing, but Nene goes, you know, I did reach out to Cynthia, and I didn't get a response back. But then we see Cynthia basically say in her confessional, oh, well, yeah, she reached out to me, but it was negative as hell. And she read what it said. It was a very negative message that basically said she was weak and all this stuff. And then you see Nene telling her man, like, yeah, I reached out to her, but she didn't respond. And it's like, but Nene, you reached out to her. It was telling her off and being negative. Like, you didn't reach out to her like, hey, girl, I really think we should talk or whatever. Like, no. You was just coming for filth, reaching out to her. How did you expect her to respond back to you? Like, it made no sense. So I think if it was the editing, I don't know. But if that's how it really went down with her telling it to Greg that way, Nene is definitely playing the victim in that particular situation. I thought that was funny as hell. But yeah, and then we go to the final, basically, the final scene of it. I feel like this whole episode was like a filler episode, because then they get invited to be on the float for Bravo, and it's Cynthia, it's Eva, and Nene, and Marlo. And Marlo's talking to Nene about how she has to let it go, just kill everybody with kindness, and this and that. Just basically trying to just give Nene some support and some advice for when she knows that she's going to have to come face to face with Cynthia, and they haven't spoken, and they're beefing right now. So she's trying to, like, you know, keep her friend in positive spirits, and this and that. So then basically the episode just kind of ends off with them two about to basically, you know, meet up with each other on the float. They were in crossing paths with each other on the float, and then the episode cuts off. And I was just like, really? This was tonight's episode? Like, this was the biggest filler episode ever. So they're basically trying to get us hyped up for when Nene and Cynthia actually engage with each other. If they speak, what happens, this and that. I don't think there's going to be any drama. Like, as far as like large arguments, I don't think so. But I just thought this episode was pretty dry. Next Sunday, who knows? We'll see what happens. But meet me down in the comments section. Comment down what you thought of this episode. What do you think is going to happen between Nene and Cynthia? And make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.